Okay, so welcome back to the final part of the guide. In this part, I'm going to be talking about the intermediate and end game goals for this Magic Find Sorceress character. So the first part, I'm going to talk a little bit about running Mephisto. So if you've gotten yourself up into the high 80s or so in level, you can start running Mephisto pretty easily. The main thing to look for, of course, is the 3 pieces of the Tal Rasha. You're not going to be able to get the armor from Mephisto, but if you found it from Pendle, then you can complete the 3-piece set. If you haven't found the armor, but you've got the helmet, then maybe use the 3-piece using the helmet for the time being, because you get the 65% item find bonus. Also, Shaco, you're going to put a perfect topaz in it to get some extra magic find bonus. And then just whatever on your boots as whatever you can find, either War Traveler or I've just got a rare set of boots here. Now, there are 2 things to look for this. First is the hit recovery. When you're teleporting around the Durance, it's good to have the 60. So you've got your spirit plus a charm of balance here can put you at 60, so that's important. If you are playing on battle.net and you're going to be teleporting around looking for the staircase, I'm going to recommend hitting the 105 faster cast rate breakpoint. You can get that pretty easily if you've got a perfect spirit and 30 on your weapon here. I've got that on the Oculus. You get 2 extra on your armor and belt, plus I've got Trangules here to get me to 105. If you're just playing single player, maybe you don't need that. You can just put chance guards or something for extra magic find. You can also make up for your cast rate on your rings as well. So there's a lot of mixing and matching you can do. Mephisto's pretty easy. You're just going to teleport. If you're on battle.net, the best thing to do is to teleport in a clockwise circle around the level until you find the thing. If you've got good faster cast rate and hit recovery, this is pretty quick, so that's why we wanted to get those. You're going to teleport over to Mephisto. Now, when you first start out, you're going to notice your mercenary, he's not going to be very well geared, so he may not be able to handle Mephisto very well. Make sure you switch over to your kill switch. When you kill him, you see I've switched over here. On my kill switch, I have a goal and a rhyme. So right when I kill him, I get an extra 125% magic find bonus. If you don't have a goal, you can use a Blade of Alibaba as well. Then you're going to come back over here and come back into the level. Now, if you're mercenary, if you find that you just can't keep him alive, it's very possible, particularly when you're low in level. What you can do is you can moat trick him, and moat tricking involves essentially luring him down to the moat. I'll try to do it, though my mercenary, when you have a mercenary, moat tricking is kind of hard to do because your mercenary is going to get in the way. Essentially, you're going to be about right here, and you're going to just attack Mephisto like this. Now, he's attacking me now because my mercenary is luring him, but if your mercenary is dead, then you can just sit there and kill him without getting attacked. So once your mercenary is geared up well enough and you can kind of handle him, then it's pretty smooth. You should be able to get about 30-second, 35-second run times. And you're just going to be trying to find these items here. And once you've kind of set yourself up, you can run Pendle and Mephisto and get pretty much every item in the game, except for Tyrael's Might. So these, you can almost consider your character complete once you've collected that gear. However, if you want the best overall magic finding potential, then we need to move into our end game. To do this, we're going to run Ancient Tunnels. Now, Ancient Tunnels is going to require a slightly different approach and gear setup. The first thing I like to do when running Ancient Tunnels is make sure I'm a little more secure. So I do like to use Spirit, particularly when I'm getting closer to leveling up. You don't need Spirit, though. It's not necessary to do. I also recommend that if you're using the Oculus, you use something else. I like using Heart of Oak, mainly because of the resists. I also like to stack my resists when I'm in the Ancient Tunnels. So let's just look really quickly at this setup that I've got here. Heart of Oak And actually, I can switch these gloves back out. With the Heart of Oak, I've got the 40 faster cast rate, so that means I'm meeting 105 faster cast rate. I really recommend having the 105 faster cast rate with your 60 hit recovery when you're in Ancient Tunnels. You're going to be getting hit a lot, particularly if you're playing aggressively. So getting those 2 breakpoints is very important. Also, resists. You can see here I've got pretty good resists. Particularly your lightning. You've noticed I've actually stacked my lightning resist. And the reason is because when you're under conviction, you can get torched almost instantly by bosses. So stacking lightning, I've got really good lightning on here with some magic find. So for me, this works out. But if you find that you can survive well enough to your liking, maybe just War Traveler there. So that's for you. Now your mercenary is a slightly different story. Obviously, insight is good. It helps, allows us to just teleport without worrying about potion use. I recommend going with Vamp's Gaze for the survivability and a Cham. The Cham can be difficult to get. If you can't find a Cham for the time being, just use an increased attack speed jewel. But the Cham will allow you to kill the cold enchanted bosses quicker. So this is something I think is worth shooting for as kind of like an end game goal here. Also, if you're going to go into the Ancient Tunnels, we're going to probably want to upgrade the armor. Treachery is okay, but we need to be able to kill quickly, and we need a little more survivability. I'm going to recommend going with Fortitude. Just put it in an elite ethereal base. You can see when I put it on, it literally doubles his damage output. Very important because we want to kill the cold immunes quickly. So this is the setup to be looking for. Now, when you go, if you're on single player, you want to find a map that you get pretty quick access to the Ancient Tunnels. If you're playing the Battle.net, obviously the fast cast rate and just being able to look around quickly is what's important there. Ancient Tunnels, the way it's set up is you're going to have points on the map where you get very strong boss spawns. There's only one permanent spawn pack, and it's always next to the treasure chest. So the idea is to sort of teleport to that permanent and try to hit as many of the semi-permanent boss spawns as you can. For me, on this map, I don't have a great map. I've got an okay one. What I do is I kind of run a little loop. I'll teleport here, 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 and here, and I'll check for boss spawns along this point. If I'm lucky, I can get anywhere from 6 to 8. However, usually I'll end up getting around 4 to 6, but that's still good enough. Now, you need to play rather aggressively when you play the Ancient Tunnels. If you're worried about dying, you're not going to be going as fast as you need to. So you're just going to be teleporting. And the champion boss packs don't give you very good drop rates, but they're worth definitely killing. You can see here, I'm just looking at the bosses and killing along these lines and moving on. If I don't see any up here, then I'm just going to end up resetting and starting over again. You also want to make sure you go through Werev when you want to get to it, and then go through Act 1. It's faster than running across the desert town. And so this is typically the way to go. Yeah, you saw I didn't even use battle orders in that last one. You can use battle orders and you can get away with playing a little more aggressively. You can see that these enemies can jump on you really quickly, and you can get pretty much insta-killed if you're not lucky and you're not paying attention. So if you're afraid of dying, you're probably not going to be able to play quick enough to justify doing this. You really need to try to hit about, you can see there I had a cold immune there that kind of slowed me down. You really want to be able to hit about 6 boss packs in about 45 seconds if you want to equal your Pendle skin efficiency. So you got to be moving quickly. Don't wait too long there. So that's pretty much my advice for Ancient Tunnels. You're not going to be able to probably hit quite that efficiency, Pendle efficiency, when you're playing on Battle.net. So mixing in Pendle with Ancient Tunnels and Mephisto is probably the best overall way to go if you're online, just to kind of balance it out. But if you're doing single player and you roll a good map, then you can afford to really maximize your efficiency and get even higher um, efficiency. So I've said 6 and 45 seconds is kind of like the limit. You would even ideally want to be even quicker than this. You can even get at the 35-second mark if you're really fast and playing really aggressively. So yeah, you can see with my character here, I don't have ideal gear. I could be using Death's Fathom for slightly faster speeds, but even with this setup I've got, I'm breaking 400 Magic Find. So that's definitely high enough. The only real, I guess, kind of a high level thing I have on this character is this Chammed Vamp's Gaze. But other than that, it shouldn't be too hard to find the pieces to at least get started doing this. So in terms of the odds of finding this gear, just remember that these things are rare. Tyrael's Might is about a 1 in 400 something thousand drop, so it could be quite a while till that falls. Death's Fathom is rare. Stones of Jordan, all of these things are very rare. You're just looking for any one particular item is a surefire way to get frustrated and probably quit on this. Just making a hobby of it and doing maybe 100 runs or so at a time while listening to music or podcasts is my recommendation. But if you keep with it over time, you will find that you will collect quite a bit of gear. So yeah, this is, I guess, one of the reasons why people starting out like the Blizzard Sorceress. Within about 2 or 3 weeks, you can generally be in the Ancient's tunnels and on your way to perhaps building other characters up. So that's all for this guide. Thank you so much for listening. If you've got any comments or corrections or for improvement, please don't hesitate to list them in the comments section. Best of luck in your Diablo 2 treasure hunting.